What's going on, guys? My name is Aldeniro and welcome to episode, what are we at now, 54 I think, of my Leicester City career mode. 54 is a massive number. We're starting this episode off with a game in the Champions League against Chelsea, and this is at the King Power Stadium. This is the first leg of the quarterfinals, and this is a huge game for us naturally. Playing against much better opposition, that goes without saying. They're unbeaten in the league. They're absolutely running away with the league. They're something like 23 points ahead of their nearest competition, and it's just pretty ridiculous at the moment. And naturally, in lieu of that, we went with a defensive-minded formation, although we do have Maicon Leite and Luis Muriel up front for the hope of getting a pacey counter-attack of some description. Chelsea have got Edison Cavani up front with Van Ginkel playing behind him, and they've got Hazard and Willian on the wings, which makes for a deadly combination. And Edison Cavani hits his effort off the crossbar just 6 minutes into the game, which kind of it was a little bit of foreboding. It sort of told us what to expect in this game. But in the 21st minute, Ramirez comes into the box and he finishes tidily into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to the visitors, and that gives them an away goal. And from here, like, we're looking at an uphill struggle, even more so than we were before, and that's going to make it incredibly difficult. Because now we, in all likelihood, will have to go to Stamford Bridge and score. Although that is a thing that we've done before, so it is possible. You know, it's not an impossibility. It's just an improbability at the moment. But I've got a question for you guys. It's more so me kind of looking for feedback here at the moment, because obviously lately YouTube has been really bad. This goes without saying. I can't access any of my analytics most of the time. Processing takes ages, and the views are down. I believe the views to be down as a result of just the bad system and people not seeing the video being there or whatever. But it also is apparent to me as we go 2-0 down thanks to a John Stones own goal supposedly, which I'm just not having. I think that was a Van Ginkel goal. But yeah, like it's just apparent to me that we are a long way into this season now, and different people have different ideas of what direction it should have taken. And what I would like to know from you guys is, do you want me to do another season when this one is over? Do you want me to keep this series going forever? Do you want this to be my series that lasts the entirety of FIFA? Because that's kind of what I would like. I'd like to stay with Leicester and try and build them into a force. I don't really feel like we've done that yet, not after just one season in the Champions League. But I'd like to hear your opinion, and whether or not we should try and move clubs, or whether or not we should stay. I'm not going to do a poll or anything like that. I'd like you guys to just leave your comments. And look at that for an amazing goal in this 66th minute from Ki Sung-young from distance. An absolute pile driver of a shot. He hit that with so much venom, as Martin Tyler would say, and there was no way Petr Cech was going to get to it in the Chelsea goal. But Chelsea retaliated just 2 minutes later, coming down the left hand side of the ball, coming into Van Ginkel, who came very close to making it 3-1 to the visitors. Sadly for him, he didn't do it, and then we enter the final 10 minutes of the game with Diego Costa taking on Stephen Corker on the right hand side. He does so well to get round Stephen Corker as well. The ball comes into Van Ginkel, and this time the Dutchman does make it 3-1, and from here there was just no way we were ever going to get anything out of the game. But we did come forward once more in the 90th minute with Kingsley Coman, the second half substitute, working his way into the box from the left hand side of the pitch. He passes it to Maicon Leite, who finishes into the near post, and he gives us a lifeline, as he gives us a priceless away. No, he doesn't. He gives us a home goal, and we're still an away goal down, which means we're going to have to go to Stamford Bridge and win by 2 clear goals. So if any of you guys have any faith in me, you shouldn't, because it's going to be incredibly difficult. But we've come very far anyway, and I think it's a really good achievement regardless. But we come out to find a job offer from Stoke City, and this was very difficult for me to consider because they're in the relegation zone and I had no intention of ever taking it at all. But here's a look at Valère Bryson, our scout future star player, who we're going to sign at the end of May. I believe that's what everyone says to do. He's going to be great, you know, there's no doubt about it. But we go into our next game now. This is in the league, and this is against Arsenal, and as you can see from the league table, we do have a lot to play for here, because our position in the top 4 is kind of at stake due to the intensive nature of the fixtures that we're playing. But this is the first game, I think, of the entire series where Jeffrey Schlupp is playing at left back, and I still get comments all of the time asking me why I play him as a striker, and the answer is he can play as a striker. But in the 5th minute of this game, we really struggled to clear that Arsenal chance, and Welbeck did get a shot on goal. It was saved by Schmeichel, but look at this calamity that ensued inside the box, and Welbeck's shot went over. But if we conceded from that chance, I would have been so livid that you wouldn't even understand. But we came forward in the 16th minute through Dwight Gale as he takes on Nacho Monreal on the right hand side of the pitch, and he does really well to get into a position to shoot, and his shot was very good as well. It could have cannoned into that far corner on another day, but in the 23rd minute Arsenal came forward with Carl Jenkinson passing the ball to Serge Gnabry, who they do some nice interchanging passes between each other, and it comes to Abu Diaby, who plays it to Flamini, who goes back to Diaby, who has a look up, and he crosses it in towards Danny Welbeck, who gets in at the far post to score. And Arsenal take the lead in this game, which was very frustrating because I thought Arsenal were a team I could actually beat. Offhand, I can't even think of my record against Arsenal, but I'm sure I've had some good games against them in recent times, you know. But they came forward again just before half time, and again it was Danny Welbeck coming very close. He has prospered, and he has become an incredible footballer in this game. He's valued something like 27 million, and he's a guy I'd love to have in the Leicester team, but would never be able to afford him with a price tag like that. But Arsenal were awarded a penalty in the 45th minute, and again it was one of those ones where I didn't actually do anything to concede it. I thought it was very, very harsh. It was Ince who was judged to have fouled, I think it was Santi Cazorla, and Cazorla himself stepped up to take the penalty, and he went straight down the middle, and I knew he would do it, the rat-faced fucker. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I actually like Cazorla a lot, but I was very, very annoyed. I get really annoyed when players hit it down the middle. It's like it's too easy for them. But we got a penalty of our own in the 46th minute, which is what you would think if you were a rational, sane, level-headed person. Look at this for an absolute balls of a decision from the referee. That foul from Flamini, right? That's a red card. This is a red card because he was the last man back. It's a professional foul. He stopped a clear goal-scoring opportunity on Sinclair. It was inside the box. Look. That's inside the box. It should be a penalty. But the ref gave a free kick for it. He didn't give a penalty. It's a penalty and a red card. We had this incident in the last episode where I said, does it start where the contact initiates or where it continues to? And everyone in the comment section came to the conclusion that the penalty is given where the contact actually ends, where the foul ends, and that's when a penalty is given. And that should have been a penalty and it wasn't. So I'd like to know what you guys think of that. Like, have I been completely fucked over here by the game? Because I certainly feel as though that's the case. But we come forward in the 66th minute trying to get an equaliser out of this game. Sinclair goes very close with his pile driver of a shot that's put wide by Szczesny, and it goes out for a corner kick for us, which I believe Tom Ince comes across the swing outwards. No, he doesn't, because he's probably not even on the pitch, but Jack Grealish swings it in. It goes up towards John Stones. It comes out to Fofana, who comes very close to equalising for us in the 68th minute, but it wasn't to be, and we come all the way up to the 90th minute on all-out attack with Jack Grealish in the box, and he could have scored, and he should have scored with the last kick of the game, but it didn't happen, and we end that game with another defeat. We have had a ridiculous amount of defeats this season, and it is soul destroying. And now we go into the second leg of the quarter-final of the Champions League against Chelsea, where we trail 3-2. Here's a look at the tournament tree just so you guys can see who our potential opponents would be if we were able to navigate this ridiculous challenge of overcoming such a mega scoreline to try and do. But Chelsea's team had no Hazard in it. They went with Piazon. They've got Matic, Mikel, Van Ginkel, Willian. Diego Costa starts up front instead of Edison Cavani. We went with the same kind of actually no, I went with a more attacking formation in this game because I thought it was possible that we could get something if we attacked from the off. So I went with a 4-5-1, kind of an attacking version of it, with Leite, Berahino and Gale all playing. Or did I go with Muriel? I've actually forgotten, even though I looked at it like 4 seconds ago. It was Muriel up front, my bad. But we came close there in the 13th minute, and then we came forward again in the 24th with Tom Ince working his way into the box. He passes to Muriel, who goes very close with that effort, which was then cleared away by the Chelsea defence, and we tried to keep the pressure on by holding on to possession in this area and putting a lot of pressure, just pressing that defence to try and open a gap somewhere. The ball comes to Leite, who runs around 2 defenders in the box and gets his shot off from such a good position, but unfortunately he didn't score from it, and we come all the way up to stoppage time at the end of the first half with Maicon Leite playing the ball into Luis Muriel, and pick that out of the net, Petr Cech, because that is an amazing volley, first time from the Colombian striker, an absolutely brilliant goal. I tried to pick the ball up out of the net, but Muriel wasn't having it. He just wanted to celebrate that goal, and I don't blame him. I'd want to celebrate that goal as well. It was a phenomenal strike. I don't even think I'm overhyping it. I just love it when players hit the ball on the volley like he does here. It's just such a sweet contact, and it hits off the post and goes in, and this angle sums it up really well. I think Petr Cech just inches away, but he couldn't do anything to it. And then we come into the second half with Chelsea looking to respond to that immediately, and Mikel's shot went just over, and then we come up to the hour mark of the game where we started into a counter attack with Ki Sung Young playing it through to Maicon Leite, and in inexplicable amounts of space, and he passes the ball into Luis Muriel, and there is no excuse for not finishing that. It was a great reaction save from Petr Cech, and he does get congratulated by his defender, but look how close that is to giving us a 2-0 lead, which would be enough to take us through on the away goal rule. But we came forward again in the 76th minute, the ball coming to Luis Muriel, his strike from distance going just wide of the post, and then we come all the way up to, actually, this shot went out for a corner, and Stephen Corker inside the box goes up with the header, and he came very close to scoring, but I just wish he could keep that down. If it was Jonas Okore, he probably would have kept it down because he's smaller. But we come to the 85th minute of the game with Maikon Leite bombing his way into the box using his pace. He plays it to Sinclair, who backheels it to Coleman, who comes very close, and the rebound just wasn't able to be connected with by Leite, which is such a shame. Then we come up to the 90th minute with Liam Moore in an advanced position, finding Maikon Leite, who does really well to get around the challenge. He has a shot, it's saved, and Dwight Gale puts it over from like 6 yards with an open goal. The goalkeeper was down, there was nothing he would have been able to do, and Gale misses the target, and subsequently we are out of Europe and we're out of the Champions League, and all it took was just one of those chances to find the back of the net, just a little bit of luck. But it didn't happen for us, and I think we deserved it. But I think we've come a long way in the tournament regardless, and to be knocked out at this stage is no great shame. So if you guys want to leave a like for our Champions League triumph to get this far, then that would be awesome. But yeah, just like Tottenham did, we're eliminated in the quarterfinal stages in Europe, and that's such a shame. But that's the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like, that would be awesome. This commentary felt really good to do because I'm not coughing and spluttering all the time anymore, and I can actually talk like I usually do. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.